Alrighty. Um, this is going to be a walkthrough of a game that I used to play when I was younger. It's called Rappelz. And yeah, let's just get right into it. The goal for today, since I personally enjoy this game a lot. The goal for today is gonna be we're gonna try to hit a level where once we hit that level, we can then do questing all the way to kind of the final class that our character will be. So, to just kind of give a rundown of how this game works. It's just like a MMO. Um, yeah, kind of like just really old MMO. As you can see, the graphics are very pixelated, but that's all good. That's kind of the form of nostalgia. And so today I'll be just playing with the background music from the game. I don't normally have audio. For people who know me, I don't normally have audio for my games, but you know what? It's better than listening to just random music, so it'll actually fit the vibe. Um, so there's three different kind of races. There's Asura, there's Gaia, and there's Deva. They all kind of have three classes to each, right? So you all start off as like a beginner kind of um, what's that? Beginner kind of job is what they're called, and then after the beginner, you kind of branch out into three different um, kind of types of classes as far as like general classes go. So you have a kind of like a warrior, a hunter, so they use like melee. Um, for Asura though, they can use crossbows. You have like a magician, and then you have like a sorcerer, which is kind of like a magician, but as we'll probably learn later, they're actually kind of like a pet class, so you can tame pets or tame creatures in this game. And I would say this game has probably the best taming slash pet system I've ever seen. Not that I've ever gone, deep into this kind of category, but yeah, no, this pet system is phenomenal. And so every single race kind of has this, what's it called? This standard, right, for all these three. So even Gaia has a melee, a mage, who can also use like axes, I guess. And then you have the pet job as well, right? And they all use different things. Like Asura is more of a mage, right? Gaia is more get into there, and then Deva's a weird one. You know, it's also kind of it's like a hybrid of both. But I would say the interesting thing about Deva is that you have a melee, and there's even like when you go into like Knight and Templar, that's kind of like a tank class, whereas like Soldier and Mercenary are more of like the um just a DPS melee class. And then what's interesting is you have like Cleric, which are like branching out into Cardinal and a Priest and an Oracle. So these Cardinals are kind of like the Mage AoE class, but they can also be healers. As it says can be a dependable healer, but the classic healer job is an Oracle slash Priest. And then you have, of course, the Summoner job, the Pet class, which is the Master Breeder. So for today, um, I don't know if I'll do more of these. I will be looking to go for a Mercenary, not out of preference really, because I would say my main preference is actually a Deadeye. Just uses crossbows, so I really like that class. But we're just gonna go for the Mercenary, just because I don't know. I just recently I've been enjoying the idea of Mercenary. So enough yapping. Let's get started, shall we? So we're gonna select Deva, click next, and this is kind of the character creation. It's very it used to be very basic compared to this, and it is still pretty basic compared to other games, but I can't really judge it. I mean, you know, and I always go like the classic, like, you know, dude, I go like fairly light. Don't ask why. I'm edgy. I like to have a scar on my face, and I just like the long hair. Um, let's see. I don't like too straight hair like this. I would say probably one of these two are probably my favorites, and I will probably just go with like a I'll probably go purple. Actually, I don't know what color that is, but let's see. It's very, you know, why don't we go like this color, like C2 from Code Geass kind of hair color. Should I go with this doesn't really matter, but we'll do this. I like this, and then I guess I'll just name it for those who know. I'll just name it Cuhran. And yeah, we will just hopefully hit create and the name is not taken. All right, nice. So my other accounts are kind of gonna get leaked here. I'm kind of a nerd. Just ignore the chibi and mini and stuff. I run out of names eventually, but yeah. All right, let's get started. Hopefully, hopefully this game runs on a very old network slash system, so it's freaking it crashes a lot, but hopefully it doesn't crash. And yeah. All right, so I'm walking right now. Very interesting. I don't have anything in my inventory. Okay, there we go. It fixed itself. Let's equip all this stuff. All right. I don't know if I want to have a pet going right now, just because it'll wear me down. But we'll put one down, and we'll just name it like. Oh my God, we have to have All right, so now we have a pickup pet. So this is a pickup pet, and this is kind of like the just ability bar. It looks like we're looking pretty good. So all these items can be a little bit crazy. I'm just gonna try to guide anybody who finds the time to watch this. So we're gonna try to speed run. So this will take roughly about 30 minutes to hit the level that we want, which is how long this video will probably be. Maybe longer, we'll see. I've been yapping for a long time. So first we're gonna hit this hidden village return pass. And this will take us to kind of like a special area where you can only go if you have that return pass. And they've kind of power crept the game over the last few years. This was done a while ago. They haven't probably done any progress to the game recently, but you pretty much get almost everything you can access here. So you can go to a flea market where people kind of like sell stuff. There's an auction house. There's teleporters that you can take you around the map. There's just a bunch of different stuff. So we're gonna open this warehouse, and this links the accounts of this links a bank of all my characters on this account. So we're just gonna take out some money and just kind of gear up for what we're gonna do, because this game, really early game and even end game, pretty much is all about dungeoning and just being able to just clear dungeons as fast as you can to level, and the level rates are pretty fast. I mean, you would think that the way, you know, if you were to look at this game, I don't even know, like 15 years ago, leveling this quickly is just unheard of. But yeah, so we're gonna get these random cards, and they're not necessarily random. They come from another character that I had, so I'm kind of like cheating. But um, all this blacked out stuff is stuff that I can't really wear yet, but I will be able to. I'm just grabbing everything. I forgot I can hold shift to only left click once. Okay, and these are like pet cards. So for example, like a wood pixie looks like this, but I don't know if I'll be able to find one. But you have to have an empty card of that type. So for example, like this is a skeleton, just a random skeleton, and I'm sure I have some skeleton cards somewhere, but I can't find them. But yeah, I usually start off with like this kind of weird looking card with the dragon symbol on it. And then when you tame, you can actually tame the pets yourself, and there's like a chance in everything. It's very, I love it. I love that about this game. Let's just make sure we have everything. Um, might be missing some stuff, but it's okay. If it gets to it, we'll just have to come back and bank. So I actually have other accounts right now that are logged in, and they pretty much they they are buffing accounts. So I can invite this character to a party, and these are just some of the accounts that I have already that can buff, and they pretty much give like not max level, but they're up there as far as how good they are. So I think that's everything. I'm hoping that I got all the weapons that I need, right? So we have level 20, level 50, and level 80. And then we're gonna stop at level 105 for today. So let's go ahead and get started. Exit this. We're gonna put on these wings, wear this bag to help with our inventory space because we have a weight. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna wear these. Alright, so I grabbed all the money that I needed. I grabbed kind of everything I needed, so I'm just gonna put these buffs here. I'm only gonna use one, but I just like to have them. Just accessible. Then we will have the gladiator potions here. I don't know if I have any spell potions. There's a spell one, it's blue. But it doesn't look like I could find any. Okay, so did I grab all the pets? I did. Okay. I didn't grab any return. So there's resurrection scrolls and there's return scrolls. Return scrolls are nice to have just so you can teleport out. You can't really get anywhere if you don't have a return scroll. Right here, I have some, and then we will. So I have spell potions here, but it doesn't look like I have the gladiator one. It's only level 3, so we'll just grab some of these, and we'll just have to use these. So these world buffs are actually like worldwide buffs that happen. They're really busted, but they only last for 30 minutes, so it's actually kind of perfect. So we're gonna do this. Get the player buffs, and then we're not gonna do that. So first, what we're gonna do is before we start our journey, we're gonna actually get our buffs from our players, from my buff accounts. So we're gonna run over here. And right here is where I chose a random area to buff. So right now I'm just gonna buff on these accounts, and hopefully it's gonna take a little bit, but hopefully while I'm hopping, the game just doesn't crash, which would really suck. Because I have one account that's going right now, which is the Truly Oracle, and then I have like all the other buff accounts on the same account. All the buff characters on the same account, so I can't. I have to keep swapping characters, which I look back at it and I probably should change it around, but I usually never have to what's the word? Like use 3 accounts, like 3 clients, just because it's just it can just be very unreliable. So I'm really hoping it doesn't bug out. So we are almost done. It looks like I even got the... We have to wait 15 seconds for this buff, and then we can go. Let me just double check and make sure I have everything. Alright, so we can do this buff, and then we go. So we're gonna head to the first dungeon. Just make sure I have everything going. Okay, so we're gonna go to this dungeon teleporter, and we're gonna go to this first Relic of Arid Moonlight 1. At the lower level, there's usually 2, just because of you know, back in the day there were multiple people, so you'd have to have 2. I cannot enter this dungeon because I'm not level 10. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kill these guys outside here, and you'll notice that I just hit level 10 instantly. So it's just yeah, it feels like a private server, but I have XP buffs going on and everything, and it's just honestly it doesn't feel fair, and there's a chance that my game might have crashed on the first dungeon. Oh my god, thank god. That would have been so sad. Alright. So we're in the dungeon, and the monsters here are a lot stronger, but I'm just so broken with all the buffs that it just doesn't matter. So we're already level 20. Our goal is to hit level 50 before the next dungeon, before we go to the next dungeon. So you're going to notice that while I'm kind of running around... Sorry if that's a little loud. While I'm running around, I'm going to be doing all this job leveling up, so I can only go to 10 for now, because I'm still a beginner, right? But usually at level 15, you would actually upgrade to the next class already, but I'm just going to go straight to 50, and then change my job class at that point. Sometimes it bugs. So this is actually a boss, so that's why he's a little tankier, but like I said, it does not matter. So these are summoning. We have Grace as well, we have this. We're just gonna keep working our way through the dungeon, and I can actually, let me see if I can make this bigger. Yeah, so this is the whole dungeon. At the very end of the dungeon, in the center, is a final boss. It's not that hard. It's a beginner, but I still think it's really cool how much effort they really put into the game when they first made it in 2006. But we're kind of done with this for now, just because we don't really have anything. Because we're level 40, and we just don't have anything to... We're gonna use that. So once again, we are going for level 50. We're already 44, so it's not even a problem. We actually have, so there's a bunch of, like, I want to say mini bosses, and I want to say there's 2 kind of final bosses, or at least final boss equivalents. Obviously, the one at the end of the dungeon is the final boss for this dungeon, but there is one right here, yeah, called Euphoria, and it's just level 40. It's just a really tanky one, but obviously he just kind of gets one shot. Oh, I didn't even put on my my new weapon, my level 20 weapon, so And so you can also have a belt, like pets on your belt, because every pet can give stats when you wear them, pretty much. So, for example, I can wear this belt, and when I open this, I can put belt slots, like creature cards here. So if I go to my creature tab, and I just, for example, this raven, this it's a Hawkeye, but we call it a raven. If I can open it, oh, it's not gonna let me open it. So I'll open it when I hit level 50, because I'm gonna teleport out and change my job class. So right now we're level 50. So we're gonna go back to the hidden village, and I will show exactly how the belt pets work. So this is okay. Ignore that. I'm so sorry. This is a harpy. She uses a bow, but for example, if you look at the card ability, she gives 18% dexterity and 18% attack speed. So she is really nice for just like ranged and crossbow users and stuff like that, but also for attack speed. I think right now I'm gonna try using 2 ravens. I think this is physical attack and evasion. We're gonna try to do a harpy, and then I'm gonna see if one of these cards are good, because these are boss cards. So you can put creature cards and boss cards. So I have Mephisto, which gives critical power and critical rate, but I need to be level 100, so I actually can't even use that yet. So we're actually just gonna do let me see. I'm kind of wasting time here, but let's just do a Hawkeye again. See, so now we have a bunch of physical attack and physical defense. So since we are max job level and level 50, we can talk to this job supporter. We can ask for a class change, and we're gonna become a holy warrior for today. So now I'm a holy warrior, and I have a whole new skill tree that I have to level up. So this is gonna get a little bit tedious. Sorry, I'm not used to playing with volume on. But now that we have this, we're gonna go to level 25, because we can only level to half of our level. We can only go job level half of 50. This goes all the way up to level 50 job level, so in order to max it out, we have to hit level 100, I believe. So the next dungeon that we're going to go to is, we're actually going to skip the Lost Mines, because that's typically level, you can enter it around level 30, I believe, and go until probably like level 50 to 60. But since we are so strong and power creep is just a thing in this game, we can actually go to the Crystal Valley, which is the next hardest dungeon. We're just going to go in here, and our job for this, well, my job for this dungeon is to clear the mobs, but I also want to find this koala. This koala actually runs around the dungeon in specific rooms. Right here, Gatekeeper of Crystals. It's actually so lucky that I found it in the first room. And this takes us to a hard mode of this dungeon. So it's actually very, like, it's much more difficult. And this is actually where I'm going to spend the rest of my time. So we are gonna just... We are actually going to summon our Death Tyrant that we have. It's just one of our pets. It's so hard to explain, but... And he can actually give us a buff that just levels up our spells. And I won't wear them. I won't have them out, just because when you have a pet higher level than you actually get reduced XP. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, since I use that ability, even though I would normally have a level 2 of this spell, it's actually level 3. Right, and all this spell does is give, oh no, do I not have... Oh, that's such a shame. Oh, man. I mean, it's 50% XP. We really should get that. Oh, man. Oh, this is so tragic. It's okay. We'll just keep going without it. It's fine. So notice that, like, the XP that I get is just so crazy here. And while I'm doing this, I'm just gonna level up these abilities. So it's not difficult at all, honestly, but you know, as you level up and things just become harder, abilities become more important. Obviously, I can just hit them with basic attacks, and it's not that big of a deal. But when you get to a higher level, it kind of it changes around a bit. Did I get everything? So I actually believe since I hit level 50, I can put on this new weapon. So this went from 391 with a plus 168 attack bonus to almost 900. So almost like double, I want to say. And as we level up our job class, the abilities that we can level go up higher. So these max out at 4, but I can't get that until I get job level. Are they bugged? They might be bugged. It's okay, we'll just ignore them. I'm just gonna keep leveling up this tree. I even have some buffs of my own that I can use just to help out a little bit. And if we're lucky, we should have this boss here, unless somebody else killed it. But I doubt it, obviously. But we'll see. So even now, I'll put some abilities on my bar just to start making things go by just a little bit quicker. These are kind of shield abilities, so I don't really need them. Oh, and here's the final boss, actually. I didn't even... Oh my god, that might be so loud. So I gotta close that. So now that I hit job level 40, I can level everything to the max, and even like the creature taming skill is something that unlocks at job level 40. You can it unlocks at the previous, but it's only level 1. So now my chance of taming, if I were to tame at this level, just goes up by that much. I'm gonna finish leveling up everything since level 40 is out. Okay, there's nothing left in this room. That's pretty much everything, because this right side of the tree is tank abilities, and we're not going into tank, at least not this character. So, and my belt pet is actually picking up all of these drops, and the problem with that is that I just have so many drops that it's wearing me down. So I am so much slower, but what I can do is I can find I think it's this one. And I could just kind of send these guys to the Shadow Realm a little bit. And it just helps my inventory space. Even these take up like what? So each one is 0.1, and I have 20k. So I can turn those into the upgraded ones. And even though these are like upgraded, they still only weigh 0.1. So it actually helps a ton. And this is kind of why I didn't want to bring out my looting pet, the looting pet that you get, but it's okay. It's totally fine. So even though a lot of these cards when I first got them were kind of like grayed out as they are right now, like Blessing, I have a +5 card, um, Summoning, and a Creature Taming card that just also helps with the taming rate and everything going on in this game. If I get the opportunity, I can actually tame any of these creatures. So I can hover over this on any creature, and I can see what kind of card I need. So I need a special soul taming card for... let me see if I have any. Oh yeah, I do have 2. Obviously, the rate of me getting... The chance of me getting it is going to be really low, but I'll try it. So I'll go for this, that guy. So I'm taming it right now. And so then once you have the tame buff on, all you have to do is kill it. And we can actually... did we get it? I didn't see. Usually you can see if there's like a heart, but I have so much going on in the chat box. But it looks like we did not get it. Okay. So we're actually already almost level 90. They're actually going by really quickly. Like I said, the goal is to get level 105. That is our goal for kind of this session. And then when we come back, when I come back, the next session will be almost just questing. It's literally just questing, and there are some like fighting monsters involved, but you know, it's just that's really all it is. It's not like hard quests, and they actually kind of have a story, somewhat. And I think that they also did a really good job on the questing as well. It's just obviously outdated. So even now, I still have this weight. So I just have to dismantle and just they all die so quickly. It's mainly just the it's the armor and weapons that weigh a ton. So I will just, while I'm trying to move around, I can just try to dismantle these to save some space. Should be one more set. Yep. So I don't have anything. So this, I'm literally wearing right now, what I'm wearing is the level 1 armor that I got at the start. I have the weapon. I have some cosmetic stuff that kind of gives stats. Like this just helps with taming, and it's just it gives stats. But like this cloak, for example, only gives +3. And these are just random cosmetics that I just have accumulated over the years. But I don't really have anything, right? So I'm missing 2 earrings, 2 rings, a necklace, boots, gloves, cloak, mask, and yeah, so what I can do is, I don't really care for the gear, but what I do like is having like move speed stuff. Oh, and this is actually the final boss. And you can even tame them, but you need a unique soul taming card. But she's just kind of gonna get one shot. I'm stunned right now. Back in the day, you couldn't actually tame a lot of these creatures, except for the white dragons, just because they're not they had when they released the game, as far as I know, they had a set amount of creatures that you could tame. So some cards are like, most of the cards are like specific, like octopus, a blue pixie, a knoll, an ifrit, a Cerberus. But then you have like these random basic soul taming, or rare soul taming, or special, or even unique. And these kind of, they implemented this. I'm not sure about the timeline, but they implemented it at some point Maybe after the 20. I want to say like after 2010 they implemented it, where you could just tame just even random creatures like these worms. They aren't a creature, for example. The white dragons are, but like yeah, these like worms, and there's like even like weird, I don't even know, like two-legged things walking around, and they just look funky, like a chomper or whatever. And every pet kind of has its own tier. So, for example, a white dragon is like the highest normal tier. Like, look at these guys. Like, look how goofy they are. So as the cards change, like for example, like blue, these are like tier 2, I would say. So they're not exactly the strongest. And for example, like the Cerberus is like a reddish purple. That means it's just a little like just higher in tier, just overall stats wise, it's stronger. Look at that, I'm maxed out again, so I gotta focus on the weapons because they just keep piling up. We're actually already level 100, so we can max out our job level for this class. And I'll just max this out just because it helps with my... Oh my god, sorry, it's so loud. I wonder if I can turn this down. Okay, that kind of... Hopefully it's not too low. So that's everything kind of maxed out here. So now all we can do is just try to hit level 105 as fast as we can. I really wish that this game, looking back on it, I really wish this game continued on. Like, I'm sure there are some devs and like there's still like weird updates and stuff like that, but I don't like, it's not like I feel like actual effort into progressing the game. And obviously it makes sense. It's an old game, dude. Nobody plays it, but I just feel like, dude, it would be so cool to just have a game like this, just a little bit more modernized, in my opinion. It just feels a lot. It just feels so nice. But maybe it just wouldn't feel the same. So the leveling actually gets quite a bit slower, obviously, when we get up here, because we're just so high up, right? Like, these guys are level 84 and we're level 101. We're about to hit 102. That our XP just isn't as good. And I could go to a new dungeon, but I just feel like, all I need is 105 to start questing, to start the questing journey on this character, and I'm right there. So it's not gonna really change anything if I go to a new dungeon. I'm just gonna keep destroying these stuff. Just keep on destroying it. So I can actually go check on the first boss that we killed when we entered here, because since we're in hard mode, the boss respawn timers are actually shorter. I believe in normal mode, if you're just like not if I didn't kill the koala and go in, if I was just out there, the bosses themselves would actually take longer to respawn. But since I'm in hard mode, these bosses actually and these mini bosses actually respawn quicker. I believe it's around an hour in normal mode, and I think it cuts down to like 15 minutes, maybe not even. Let's see, because we killed this guy, but oh, he's not here yet, so he might spawn soon, but I'm just not gonna be around to wait for him, to be honest. Yeah, so we're actually gonna take a different path. So we're just gonna go over here. Monsters are still gonna be pretty low level, but it's all good. I would say each kill we're getting around a 1%. Let me see. Yeah, I don't really have anything. It would be a little, obviously it'd be a little bit more if I had this grace buff going on for an extra 50% XP. It would be really nice, but it's okay. We're here for fun. It seems so basic and so lame, but I just love it. I'm not doing anything. I would say that uh, I'm not even like max in this game. Like the max level is like 220, and the highest level character I've ever had is like 180, I think. And when you get up to that level, like leveling is just like oh my gosh, it takes forever. Just because the way this game was kind of created in the first place before all the power creep is you'd go into a dungeon with like at least like 6 other people, and the monsters would still take so much time, whereas like even in this hard mode I'm just like 3-shotting them, and that's kind of like how it is even in the higher levels, which is fine. Like, it sucks because I just like if you wanted to solo up there, because this game is just sadly like a dead game. If you want to solo up there, you need the best gear possible, and that just takes a lot of money. And yeah, I do not like. Yeah, I have like 30 bill, but the max gear costs like in the trill. Like it's up there as far as money cost. And I just sometimes I just like taming random monsters, like because while you can tame monsters, you can actually what the it's probably just server or something. You can actually evolve, not evolve, like in this game they term it as staging, so you can stage the monsters. So here I can try to show this easily. So when I click on this Death Tyrant, it says stage 1. So the way staging works is it just overall it makes the monster stronger, but for like stage 1 you would need 2 stage 0s. So that's kind of how the math works out, and there's not 100% chance that the staging is gonna succeed, so you can actually lose out on one of the monsters that you would be staging or attempting to. So you would actually need like it's like 100 or something to get a monster to like stage 5, for example, because you need 2 stage 0s for a stage 1. You need 2 stage 1s for stage 2, which is 4 stage 0s, and it just yeah, so it just works by like I don't know what the term is, like it just exponentially gets harder as you increase the stage of the pet, and that chance of succeeding in that staging gets worse. So I spent a lot of time actually just doing my own. You can buy them, like, so that's how like some people can make money in this game, is just selling stage pets. Obviously, it's not as booming as it was 15 years ago, but you know you can still sell some stuff every now and then maybe. But like a lot of these, I've kind of worked on them myself without buying them. So this harpy is actually stage 5. You can see it by the Roman numeral 5, and it's really small. But that's like this hawk right here, this raven that I'm wearing is numeral 3. And even though these are all hawks, all three of these are hawks. I know the icon may be hard to see. They all look different, and that's not exactly because of the staging. It's actually because of the wait. This guy doesn't even. Oh my god, that guy doesn't have anything. Oh my gosh. Alright, that's my fault. But so this is actually like evolution 1, for example, and then this is evolution 2. So it's so you have a Hawkman, Evo level basic, and then you have Evo level mid, it's a Raven, and then you have an advanced Raven, it looks like. Oh, so we're actually level 105. So I can actually just stop here just because this what the questing that I have to do to upgrade to the next class is like I have to do that questing, and even if I do any more leveling, it's just not worth it just because I can get to the higher level dungeons and just do those instead. So I'm actually gonna teleport out just because, time went by very quickly. But yeah, so this was the run. I pretty much spent it in 2 dungeons. The Moonlight dungeon that we stayed until 50, and then the Crystal Valley that we stayed until 105. So I'm gonna lower this volume. I think is it effects? I'm not sure actually. So I'm just gonna dismantle some stuff. Actually, maybe I can get away with doing this. There we go. Okay. So I am a holy warrior right now, and then I can talk to the job supporter. I can ask for a class transfer, and I can either become a knight, which locks into a Templar, which is more of like a tank AoE class, or a soldier, which is like a DPS bruiser kind of, can also tank, but yeah. So I'm gonna be a soldier, and now we have a new job icon, and I have to go all the way up to level 50, and we have a whole new tree. So that is the extent of today's video. When I come back, I'm not sure when I'll come back. It'll probably be a couple days before I do the questing. This is kind of how the auction house looks. So weapon, it's a very basic auction house, and you can buy cards here. Like there's a bunch of different, like there's a drill bot, ethereal pixie. There's an Undyne. Undynes are so cool. It's like a flying fairy with 2 robotic hands. It's so cool, man. Yeah, the taming system in this game and the pet system is just, I feel like for the time it was made, is just so, like, I don't think anything could have matched its caliber. Maybe WoW. I know that WoW has a pretty cool pet system, but that's about it. I do want to know in the near future, but it's okay. Maybe I'll just tame my own gnolls and get it that way. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, and so we'll call it here. When I'm back, I will be questing, and I will be talking through all that questing when the time comes. This is my first kind of walkthrough slash YouTube video. Yeah, I tend to play these old ass games a lot. I also play RuneScape 3, but I don't really make YouTube videos on it, so I don't make any YouTube videos actually. I kind of stopped, but I just figured it'd be cool to make a just just a kind of a walkthrough, not necessarily a speed run because I'm just yapping, but yeah, it's just this game is just really fun to me. So yeah, I'm signing out, and I will be back